YouTube. This is Jay. Welcome to Things to Do in Metro Atlanta Story Time with Jay. Let's start off with today's date. Today is January the 30th, 2025, Thursday. And this is video number 26. Let me put it in another order. Today is Thursday, January the 30th, 2025. And this is video number 26. Welcome to the podcast. Sometimes I like to do the date. I usually like to put the day first, like Thursday, January the 30th, 2025. But sometimes I'll just say the date, which is January the 30th, 2025. And today is Thursday. But I always like to keep it in that order. Today is Thursday, January the 30th, 2025. And it is 10:24 p.m. I like to do that for my own records. But I want to get into I wanted to get into the emotional centers like of your brain again. I wanted to recap that. I wanted to go over that again a little bit. And I wanted to I want to discuss some other subjects about relationships and why people are having such a hard time having relationships. And we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. Why people are having such a hard time with relationships. Why they don't have nobody. Why they can't get no money. Why they can't take any vacations. Why they not enjoying life to the fullest. And they will try to justify these things. Well, I don't really want to enjoy life. Enjoying life is for the birds. Not too many people are going to say it like that, but I don't really need a relationship. I'm going to be by myself. You got to have some kind of relationship with somebody. And I'm not saying that it has to be like where you're going together, and y'all go out on dates and things of this nature, or y'all in a relationship and y'all live together. I'm not talking about that. It doesn't even have to be like that. I mean, it would be nice, I guess, for some people. Some people don't seem to be able to live without it. And that's not always a bad thing to a certain extent. But my point is, you got to have some kind of relationship with somebody. And why are so many people having trouble forming relationships? We're going to get into that. And it has to do with damaged emotional centers of the brain. People have been damaged. People have experienced a lot of trauma in their lives. And as a result, they have emotional centers that are damaged, like a neurological issue. It's a neurological issue. It's a psychological issue. In other words, people ain't right. And a lot of this has to do with traumatic experience that may have happened to them that they never got help for. We're going to go over that too. We're going to go over that a little bit more. But I want to discuss the networking and what my group is about. For those who have never heard this podcast, I'm Jay. And this is Things to Do in Metro Atlanta Story Time with Jay. There's some people who probably have never heard that. So, because I would like to assume, I've done some podcasts and maybe somebody might have heard it, but this is fairly new. This channel is fairly new. So, maybe this is your first podcast. And so my group focuses on networking, technology, wellness, and fitness and travel. And let me give you my website, lifewave.com/Jay Baresi. That's JAYBARESI. Again, that is LifeWave. LIFEWAVE.com. LifeWave.com/JAYBARESI. Check out my website. So that's lifewave.com/Jay Baresi. And LifeWave deals with stem cell activation patches. And that is under wellness and fitness. And so I had some patches on yesterday when I went to the gym. And I usually like to wear the X49, which is a muscle. It's a patch that builds muscle. I call it a muscle patch. But it is a patch that builds muscle, but it also does other things. Like it strengthens the heart, it builds muscle, and it builds the muscle up. And so I like that one a lot, the X49. So again, lifewave.com/Jay Baresi. But I want to get into what my group is about. My group is about networking, technology, wellness and fitness, and travel. And so when we talk about networking, I deal with the 5 points of networking. And maybe there are more points, but I'm dealing with these 5. And these 5 points that I'm dealing with is social, business, professional, experimental, and strategic. And I can go into these, and we're going to get into these. So when you're talking about social networking, that's dealing with, like, you're networking on the computer and you're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or you can be in person, face to face. Some people say belly to belly. That's social networking. When you're on the computer and you're networking back and forth with people and you're talking to people and you could be emailing people. Sometimes you could be like you might be in Facebook Messenger, which is something that I like to use. If you want to contact me, go to Facebook and look for my group, Things to Do in Metro Atlanta, and then contact me on Facebook Messenger. Contact the admin, which is me, on Facebook Messenger. I'm the admin of the group. There's 2 admins, but I'm Amin's son. So you can contact me there. You look me up there and then just go to Facebook Messenger and send me a message. Click on my profile, hit me up in Messenger. But that is social networking. Business networking is when you join a group like the Chamber of Commerce. Professional networking is when you join LinkedIn and you put your profile up. Experimental networking is trial and error. Like you could be, doing some day trading, right? And you may anticipate whether the commodities or futures or stocks, that they deal with, or whatever it is they're dealing with over there. I think it's commodities, but I know it has to do with things going up and down. I don't day trade, so I don't fully understand everything, but I know people who do it. And from the way they explain it, you look at, let's say, you have some money invested in pork bellies, and you anticipate that these pork bellies are going to go up. You say, well, they're at 50, they're going to go to 75. And so you put $1,000 into it, and it goes up. That's trial and error. That's experimental networking. And I know there's people to disagree. No, that's not what it is. There's always somebody disagree. But I know what I'm talking about. I've researched this. I've lived this. This is my 10th year doing, as a matter of fact, this is my 10th year. But I am Atlanta's foremost leading pro networker. And there are people disagree with that because they're haters. I got haters out here like you trying to make it and people don't want to see you make it. You know what I mean? You trying to make it and you got some people, it's not everybody. I meet a lot of good people. And there are people that have helped me. I've gotten some things from networking. Everything I have is because of networking. I was able to go to school for free because of it. I got into real estate because of it. I got into healthcare because of it. I got into exercise, like I have my gym membership because of it, because I went down there and I networked with the I think it was the corporate. It was some of the people from corporate at the gym I go to, and they were there because the gym had this was relatively a new gym. There was no gym there before, and this gym they opened up a gym in this spot, and they had like this little trailer out there where you could go into to sign a contract because the building was still being renovated, so you couldn't go into the building. They had this trailer, like think of an actor on set and he has his own trailer or something, or she has her own trailer. They had a trailer, and you went into it. It was nice too, and they had like this massage chair in there. I go to Planet Fitness, and so they had this massage chair in there, and that's what got me. They said, try this out. And I tried it out, and I wound up signing up for the black card. But at Planet Fitness, Planet Fitness is relatively affordable. If you can't afford Planet Fitness, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. And don't get me started on some of the people that go to the one where I'm at. Don't get me started on talking about people, because I'm going to tell you the truth. I mean, it may not sound good what I'm going to say, but it is most definitely true. Because I'm not going to lie about that. I'm just going to put it out there straight. But I'm not going to get on those people right now. I'm not going to get on those people because I know some of them are doing the best they can and they're going through hard times. Which leads me to my next point, which is networking and why you should network. And you see that they've cut these federal monies, right? I'm not going to get on who did it and why and the person. And you know who did it. And I'm not necessarily that angry about it. As a matter of fact, I'm not angry at all. I'm concerned. No, I'm not angry about it. I don't. I'm just not. And I'm not going to be angry, but I'm concerned. And they have cut these federal monies, right? Whatever they are. I heard it had something to do with grants or something. And that's my area. My area, I came up in nonprofit organization, community-based organizations, and they get grants. Millions of dollars in grants. As a matter of fact, that is my area, community-based organizations. And I'm still dealing with CBOs, community-based organizations. But I'm not upset about them cutting these funds, but I'm concerned about it. My point is, people need to start networking. That's my point. This is not about who did what and why. Because, I said in some previous podcasts, I'm not going to be mentioning people's names. And the reason why, it should be my name being mentioned. This is my podcast. This ain't Smitty podcast. Hey, Smitty. And I'm talking about Smitty. Everything. Hey, Smitty. Yeah, Smitty? No, this ain't about Smitty. This ain't about Smitty. This is about me, Jay. Welcome to the podcast. This is Jay. And, welcome to my group, Things to Do in Metro Atlanta. That's the name of my podcast. That's the name of my group on Facebook. That's the name of my, Instagram. That's the name of my TikTok. Things to Do in Metro Atlanta. And I've been down here 10 years. This is my 10th year. But I had visited Atlanta before I moved here. And so I had done a lot of research on this city. Now I'm living in the metro Atlanta area because I know there are people, that's not Atlanta. You're living outside in the suburbs. That is not Atlanta. Okay, yeah, I know that. But I'm living in the metro Atlanta area, and I do a lot of business in Atlanta. In Fulton County. But in Atlanta, in Fulton County, I do a lot of business there. So I'm all over the metro Atlanta area. I'm in Fulton, DeKalb, Gwinnett, and Cobb. I basically do most of my business in those 4 counties: Fulton, DeKalb, Gwinnett, and Cobb. Some people call it DeKalb. I was like, DeKalb? They say, yeah, we say DeKalb. I was like, oh, okay. There's an L there, right? Oh, yeah, I know. You know. So, I mean, okay, whatever. But I do most of my business in Fulton, DeKalb, Gwinnett, and Cobb County. I have done some business in other counties. Like I've been out to the Tanger outlet, Tanger outlet out in I know it's out in I can't think of it right now, but I know it goes out um what's going south when you go south, like Fayette County or something like that. I can't think of the county right now. But I've done business in other counties. I went to the Tanger outlet, and I went there to network. But I got a ride out there. I was networking. I went out there on a tour one time and got dropped off, and they said, "Well, we'll be back around to pick you up." It was a tour, and they take you around like the Metro Atlanta area or different counties in Georgia. They take you outside of Metro Atlanta, and you go. I mean, that might be considered Metro Atlanta, but I know I deal with the four counties: Fulton, DeKalb, Gwinnett, and Cobb. Anyway, they dropped me off one time. I was on this tour, and I went out there and I went shopping, and I got some good stuff. I like Lacoste. I like Polo. I like cargo pants. I like boots, shoes, because you need boots for the winter. I mean, I see people out here in the winter wearing dollar store shoes out here. These Crocs, and they ain't even the real Crocs they be wearing. They be like the other ones, like the ones you get out the dollar store or the like the supermarket or something, or wherever you get it. The flea market or wherever they get them from. I mean, I get mine out the supermarket because they got a supermarket around where I'm at, and I buy them right on out that supermarket. And they only $4.99, and I'm like, that's a good price. And I got more than one pair. I call them dollar store shoes. But my point is, I went shopping out at Tanger Outlet, and I bought some stuff. This was a couple years ago. I don't shop now. I don't shop now. I mean, for clothes. I mean, I might buy an item here and there. I have so much clothes. I have so many items. I have about, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. I got 4 closets full of clothes. Jam packed. Every closet. Full of clothes. Okay? So I don't need any more clothes. I got clothes I've never worn before, and they're just sitting there ready. But those are my clothes for vacation, like when I go on cruises, or if I choose to fly into an area to network a little bit, because I do some real estate investing as well. I'm doing a few things. But what I'm talking about here is networking and why people don't have relationships, why they can't get money, why they can't get a new pair of shoes, why they can't afford to wash their clothes. Because you can get all those things when you are able to network and you're dealing with the right network of people. Your network is your net worth. And I'm not trying to make fun of anybody. I don't want y'all to take this the wrong way. This is not about making fun, because I was so poor at one time in my life, I didn't even know what I was going to do. I'm going to tell you, I lost everything. And then on top of that, my mother died. And I didn't think it was going to affect me, because I was like, well, I know it's coming. So I didn't think it was going to affect me, but it did. It did. I couldn't sleep. I was tossing and turning. And I was like, well, what is going on with me? I didn't think this would bother me that much. But sometimes when people pass, it can hit you like a ton of bricks out of nowhere. And my mother embezzled tens of thousands of dollars from me from the age of 13 to the age of 18. She stole money from me consistently over a 4-year period. And when I grew up, and when I turned 18 rather, I didn't have no money. And then she kicked me out because I didn't have any money. Oh man. So, but the point I'm making is that um, it's about relationships, you know, and building rapport with people. And I'm trying to figure out what's going on with people because we're dealing with a loneliness epidemic here in the metro Atlanta area, and I believe all across the United States and possibly the world. But I know there's some places in the world you can go and they'll pull you in. They'll pull you in. I know you're gonna have to have some money though. You can't be down there broke, I tell you that. You cannot be over there broke. And they still might take you in, but I don't know about all that. I mean, you coming from another country and you're an American too, you're coming from the United States, and you go somewhere and you're broke, you might be able to find somebody and that might take you in, but I don't think you're gonna be living too well. Yeah, let me get a sip of water. I gotta have my cold water. I have cold water every time I do a podcast. But my point is, it's about building your network. It's about building your network. And there's no substitution for that. There's no substitution for that. And people think, wow, look, I just go to work. I don't worry about all that. I just go to work, I come home. It's just me, myself, and I. Nah, I can't live like that. I can't live like that. This group is about networking, technology, wellness and fitness, and travel. How you gonna do all those things without a network when you networking? I don't get some people. You should never let anybody do that to you. Hey, you out here all by yourself. But I understand some of the people, the reason why they're by themselves a lot of times is, now listen to what I'm about to say. I'm about to recap what I went over yesterday, which has to do with the emotional centers of the brain. Some people have had very traumatic experiences in life as children growing up. I have also. I'm not going to get into all that, but I was abused as a kid. And but I'm not going to fully get into all of that. And so a lot of times, you could come up as a kid and your parents may abuse you. They may beat you. Or you may grow up, let's say your parents pass away or something like that, or your parents are not able to take care of you. Because I had a friend like that. He didn't have his parents. He was living with some of his other relatives. He was abused too. So I'm starting to see this pattern with people being abused by people who are supposed to be taking care of them. And so my point is that a lot of times people will grow up, and it can start as a child, and they can have very traumatic experiences as a child, and they never get help for the damage that has been done. As a result, they turn it inward, or they suck it up, as you say. And even sometimes getting help doesn't take away the experience. You might get help. You might go and see a doctor because you've been emotionally, physically, verbally abused. And in some cases, SA, assaulted, you know what I'm talking about, SA, assault, where people take advantage of you in another way. I don't even know if you're allowed to say that word, but you have been assaulted in other ways, and sometimes you can grow up with some serious issues, and you have damaged emotional centers in your brain. You got neurological issues. Your brain, you're off kilter. You got some issues. And so as a result, you now grow up and you internalize this, and maybe you don't get help, maybe you do, maybe you don't. And now as a result, you're making bad decisions because of that, because that's what happens to you when you are traumatized and you've had some very traumatic experiences. You may not be thinking clearly. And so as a result, you choose all the wrong people to get involved with. And then you come out here and victimize people yourself. It happens. It happens. Like there was a big case recently with this guy. He got in trouble, and they locked him up. He was a very, very wealthy guy. I'm not going to mention his name. There was a big case recently in the news. And all of these people were filing lawsuits. And the point that I am making is that some people have some serious, serious issues. And he's not the only one. There's a lot of women out here that got issues. There's a lot of men out here that got issues. There's a lot of people out here that got issues. I'm talking serious, serious, serious psychological issues. And some neurological issues. The emotional centers of the brain are damaged. And as a result, they are influenced by people who they might not ordinarily be influenced by if they were well and fit, emotionally well and emotionally fit. Because my group focuses on networking, technology, wellness, and fitness. So if you want to know where you're going, like, Jay, where you going with this? Where I'm going with this? I'm talking about being emotionally well and fit. And a lot of people are just straight up crazy. And some of them need to be on medication because they cannot control their mental state. They're not able to control it. And so a lot of times they may have to take some medication because they don't know what to do. Nobody around them knows what else to do. So if that's the case, you got to go get professional help. And in some cases, people really do need to be on medication. I'm going to say that, when I was younger, I didn't think that, no, maybe they can. No, but sometimes people, they have some serious chemical imbalances. And so they have to be sedated because they're out of control. But, I was talking about that guy who got in trouble. Now look at all of what he did. And you see where he wound up. This is what can happen to you when your emotional centers are damaged and you don't get help for that. And who knows what happened to him as a child. I mean, I heard some things, but I'm not going to go into it. The point that I am making, though, is that people have traumatic experiences. I've had some myself. Being abused, I was told I was never going to amount to anything. I was beaten. Oh, my mother, man, my mother was no joke. I caught some serious beatings. I caught some serious beatings. Oh, yes. And some of my friends were beat even worse than I was. So mine wasn't as bad as some of my friends. I remember a friend of mine, he lived a few blocks down. And his mother used to beat him like a lot. And he wasn't right. I mean, none of us were, I'm just going to say it. We messed up as kids. Now imagine you being messed up as a child. Imagine how many people here in the United States have been traumatized as kids. And now they're full-grown adults. They can't get no money. They can't get a relationship. They can't get a pair of shoes. They got no place to live. They don't eat right. All they do is drink. They overeat. Everything they do is out of a bad decision that they've made based on their emotions and how they feel. Emotional eaters. You see what I'm talking about? Yeah, this is how deep this goes. And so the emotions play a role. And how you spend your money. The emotions play a role in the kinds of people you get with for relationships. You choose all the wrong people. Just think about that for a second. And I'm not saying this is everybody. Some people may have figured some things out and say, well, okay, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to do this. But there are millions of people out there who they have emotionally, they have the emotional centers of the brain. And I'm not a neurologist, but I could take a guess at it. It could be the hippocampus of the brain, the amygdala of the brain could be damaged. They may have some serious neurological and psychological problems as a result of being abused. Again, I'll look that up though. But I would think it would be the engine room for emotions, which is the, I believe it's the hippocampus, if I'm not mistaken. But you know, Jay makes mistakes. I make mistakes sometimes. But I know the amygdala is affected. Talking about neuroanatomy now, right? Networking, technology, wellness, and fitness, and travel. So we're talking about wellness and fitness. Now, I've gone over these things years ago. I had studied neuroanatomy, clinical neuroanatomy, and physiology. We're talking about the cerebral cortex and other parts of the brain that I cannot seem to think of right now. But I know there is 3 or 4 lobes. I know there is either 3 or 4 lobes when it comes to the brain. I can't remember because I have my issues too. So I got memory issues, and so I deal with that every day. And so, but you can always look it up. See the 3 or 4 lobes of the brain. As a matter of fact, I got a question to kind of jog your memory here, because I am into biotech and I've been into biotech for 25 years. And again, my website is lifewave.com/Jay Baresi. So when we talk about biotech, right, or biology, because biology is a part of biotech and how it pertains to what you consume, how you feel, and certain medications you may take. See, now we're getting into biotechnology. And there are people that disagree with that. And a lot of times people don't know what they're talking about most of the time. You know what I'm saying? There are some people who do, but a lot of people don't really have an idea of what they are talking about. And so they may tell you something, lead you down the wrong path. But my point is I have a couple of questions to kind of get you to think a little bit. What is the main constituent of hemoglobin? And you can just look it up. I mean, you Google it, the answer pops right up. But what is the main constituent of hemoglobin? And what is blood? And this is a multiple choice question. What is blood? Is blood a cell? Is blood tissue? Is blood acid? Or none of the above? And I'll give you a clue with that one. The answer is in this multiple choice, A, B, C, or D. The answer is one of those choices. What is blood? And again, what is blood? Is it a cell? Is it tissue? Is it acid, or none of the above? The answer is in the multiple choice. But it's just to get you to think a little bit, because I always challenge myself to think, because sometimes that helps to jog my memory. And I'm able to kind of, remember things. I mean, I have some memory loss, I got some issues. And I'm trying to get some help for that. Oh, trust me, I'm trying to get some help. Oh, you better believe that. I'm trying to get some help. We ain't going to get into all that. But I am definitely seeking help. And in some places, your help can be limited. But, yeah, I've been in accidents and all kinds of things, But, I'm just talking about, the damaged emotional centers of the brain and how that plays a role in who you get with, your network of people, and why you can't seem to make it in life. Like sometimes because of this damage, right? This traumatic experience you had as a kid, right? Because of these damaged emotional centers, you can get with people who can influence you to make bad decisions. That's where I'm going with this. And this is a recap of yesterday. Because I did a podcast yesterday, and that was podcast number 25. And that was Wednesday, January 29th, 2025. But today is Thursday, January the 30th, 2025, and this is podcast number 26. But I spoke about it in podcast 25, and I went over it a lot more than what I'm going over it now. This is just a recap. And so sometimes you can get with people because I want you to know this. I want you to understand why you're failing. But you can make it. You can come right here to Things to Do in Metro Atlanta. Start collaborating a little bit. Once we get, some people and, I'm trying to build this channel. But like I say, you can hit me up on Facebook Messenger. Serious replies only because, I already said that I wasn't going to tolerate certain kinds of people. And I'm not. Because, life's been hard for me. I'm not going to get into it, and I know, what, I thought it was just me. It ain't just me. Come to find out, life's hard for everybody. I'm like trying to figure this out. Because I didn't know that like years back. I'm in my 50s now. I've known it for quite some time. But there was a time when I did not know it. I thought it was just me. I thought life was just hard for me. And I come to find out that's everybody's story. Oh, okay. So, wow. Okay, let me look into this. So life's hard for everybody. What's making it hard? Traumatic experiences, living in poverty, losing a job, losing a loved one, losing a pet, getting into accidents, which can, hurt you. You can wind up injured. And so I've got some injuries. And, but the point I was making was that you can be influenced by people when you have these, when your emotional centers of your brain have been damaged or compromised. Let me try to put this in English. Let me try to put it in plain English. Because I sometimes have a problem getting these words out. I didn't even know I was that bad. Come to find out, it's worse than I thought. But when the emotional centers of your brain has been damaged and you have some neurological as well as psychological issues, you can be influenced by bad people or people to make poor choices. And as a result of your poor choices, you're always broke. You can't keep a job. You got no place to live. You wear dollar store shoes. You wear raggedy clothes. Slovenly. You're dirty. I mean, we've all been dirty sometimes. I mean, we get dirty, we gotta wash. But some people stay dirty. And you're trying to figure out, why is this person always dirty? That's the decision that they've chosen to make. Why? Because they probably have some damage. Talking about neurological damage or some kind of psychological issue. I'm not a psychologist and I'm not a neurologist, but I have studied clinical neuroanatomy. But a lot of times when you're not a psychologist or a neurologist, people don't think you know enough to speak on these issues. But I know enough to speak on these issues. I've been in biotech for 25 years. And I've studied a little bit. And although while I'm not a psychologist or a neurologist, I don't know as much as they would know on that subject. Right? I understand it enough to speak on it. And I'm telling you, there are people out here whose emotional centers of their brain, I believe it's the hippocampus, if I'm not mistaken. My memory kicks in and out. And I know it's the amygdala, because that's the engine room for emotions. And they have some damage that's been done to their brain. And as a result, they make bad choices. That's what I'm saying. And I know there's people that disagree with that, but a lot of people don't know what they're talking about. Well, I don't know because it could be for any reason. Yeah, but they're not giving you any concrete reasons. They're just talking in general and telling you they don't know if what I'm saying is true. But they can't postulate any ideas or theories. I'm giving you an idea and a theory, and I'm telling you people have damage that has been done. They've had traumatic experience, and this has affected their brain. Putting it in plain English right there. They have damage that has been done, and this in turn affects the brain and affects their behavior. And the point that I'm making is that people can influence you to make bad decisions and therefore control your behavior. See where I'm going with that? Let me say that again. People can influence you to make bad decisions and control your behavior. Have you ever thought about that? That you have been under control all these years by people? Could be a family member. Could be a loved one, Could be somebody that don't like you. Could be an enemy. Right? And you've been under this kind of control all your life. Somebody has been influencing you to make bad decisions. People that you got with. Could be a loved one. Right? Influence you. And the next thing you know, you wound up with something that you can't get rid of. Because people have influenced you. They've taken advantage of you. You done been hoodwinked, led astray, manipulated, taken advantage of, slapped around, beat up, pushed down, kicked around. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I've been there. Of course, I'm not letting anybody do that to me now. Because I know what time it is. But there was a time when I didn't fully understand these things. And that's what I'm talking about. Your network is your net worth. You got to start networking with a better group of people. And there's people who will tell you something like, well, I just go to work. I don't care about nobody. I just go to work. I make my money. I come home. I mind my business. I get in my car. I drive my car. I just do the things that's going to make me high. I don't care about nobody. I'm just going to be by myself. There's a lot of people out there like that. And you know they traumatized. You know that they have been traumatized. Now, what can we do to help that situation? All right. Because, I can talk about the problem all day. What's the solution? The solution is to create informed networks. And I know there's some people that are so damaged that this is going to go right over their head. They're not going to do it. But this is for the millions of people who want to make it. This channel, right, that I've started, Things to Do in Metro Atlanta. This channel is designed to help people with networking, technology, wellness and fitness and travel. So when we're talking about networking, you got to build your social networks. You got to build your business networks. You got to build your professional networks. You got to build you got to experiment. So you can build your experimental networks as well. Because we experiment all the time. Sometimes people can influence you to make bad decisions and get you to experiment with things that are harmful. And I'm not going to get into all of that. I'm just not going to get into it, but you know what I'm talking about. You can experiment with things that can be harmful to you, to your health. And they have, like, when I was an educator working in HIV/AIDS services, we had something called harm reduction, right? Where we would talk to the clients about reducing the harm. So, like, if you are drinking too much, you can cut down on your drinking. Like, let's say you have 5 drinks a day, have 4. So now you had 1 less. And then the next day have 3. Now you've had 2 less. And then the next day have 2. Now you've had 3 less. And so on and so forth, right? And a lot of times this did work. This did help people, and they would cut down. Harm reduction. But the point I am trying to make to you, and to myself too, because I got to keep reminding myself of this. There are people out here who can influence you to make bad decisions. And as a result of your bad decisions, they are able to control your behavior. You're not in control. There are people who can get you or who can influence you to spend your money on things you know you really shouldn't be spending your money on. And some of these things I'm not going to get into. Because there's some things I could say, but I'm not going to go there. Because I don't want to make disparaging comments about certain people. So I'm not going to go there. But there are people out here who can influence you to spend your money or donate your money. Let me say it like that so you can understand what I'm saying. There are people out here who can influence you to give your money away. And once you realize what you've done, you can't get it back. They can influence you to make bad decisions, which could be detrimental to you sometimes. Like you can't pay your bills. Why? Because you donated all your money. You gave too much money away. It's okay to give, because you got to give in order to receive. But you got took. You got taken advantage of and didn't know it. And you played yourself too, because nobody forced you to do it. But the point is, when you have damaged emotional centers, you can be influenced to do things you wouldn't normally do if you were mentally well and fit. And again, my group is about networking, technology, wellness and fitness, and travel. And so I'm going to get on these things. I'm going to continue to discuss these things. Networking, technology, wellness and fitness, and travel. And so there are people who can influence you to make bad decisions, and as a result, they control your behavior. Like you spending your money on things that like you have buyer's remorse. You're like, well, why did I buy that? Like you might have gone out and bought a $500 pair of shoes, right? Just give you an example of things, right? Somebody told you something about some shoes, and they talked to you about these shoes and how good they were to have them. And you said, you know what? I'm going to get me a pair of those shoes. And they said, yeah, you should get a pair. I got a pair. But you don't know how they got their pair. Maybe they could afford it. Maybe somebody gave it to them. Maybe they did something to get it. Who knows? Maybe they influenced somebody and somebody gave them the shoe. Whatever, right? Maybe somebody influenced them. And they were able to get the shoes as a part of this influence. Maybe somebody took them shopping. You know what I'm saying? There's some things I could say, but we ain't going to go there because I want to kind of keep this clean. But what I'm saying is maybe somebody took them shopping. And as a result, they got these shoes. But they might have had to do something that they might not have wanted to do. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. It's going on every day out here. It's happening. People are under this kind of influence, and they make bad decisions on a day-to-day basis, and they always broke. But they might have $500 shoes on their feet, but near nickel in their pocket. Men and women. I mean, this ain't gender specific. Although we know, I think women get taken shopping more than men, but this ain't necessarily, or this is not always gender specific. This could be men and women who get in the bag and doing these things, and this and that and the other, this, that, and the third, and everybody this and everybody that, and this and that and the other. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, let me get a sip of water right there. Yes, that water is cold. I like to have the cold water to stay up when I'm doing this podcast. But I wanted to get on here and I want to discuss these things. And so when we talk about building up our social, business, professional, experimental, and strategic networks, because sometimes you may need a strategic network of people. You know how y'all are friends and y'all have some similar things in common, like you may like to race, right? And so you say, well, if I do this, I may be able to win the race. So you come up with a strategy. And everybody's riding the bikes and they're racing, and that's what they do, right? I'm just using that because it could be some other things. I ain't trying to go into all that about strategic networks. But I could give you another example about building strategy and having strategic networks of people to help you, because you're going to need it, because you ain't the only one that's got a strategic network. Don't think you do. You're not the only one that's social, business, professional, experimental, and strategic. There are people out here using this, and they're using it against you. That's the point I'm trying to make. It's time to wake up. This is 2025. See, I didn't want to get into all that, but I'm going to get into it just a little bit, because by giving you the analogy about racing a bike, you may not see it clearly. But if I put it this way, there are people out here who are social, business, professional, experimental, and strategic. They have these networks and they're using it against you to get your money. I work in research. I know what I'm saying. There are people out here that's plotting against you. And they're coming up with strategies to take your money. Yes, they're out here. And that's why you need to also build your network. I want to build, now I have a team that I'm working with in healthcare, you know. I have a team, wellness and fitness, right? But I also have another team that I'm doing some things in actual healthcare with. Yes, yes. I have a team for that as well. I would like to build more social, business, professional, experimental, and strategic networking teams. And I know who I want on my team. And that's what I'm saying. Things to do in Metro Atlanta. This is about networking. That's what I mean. My channel's about networking, technology, wellness, and fitness and travel. I didn't just come up with these things. And this is 2025. And if you don't wake up this year, this is for those who haven't but that want to. And when I say wake up, I mean start putting certain things into practice. You might have already have woken up. You know already. You know what time it is. You know what you got to do. You just have not put it into practice. That's what I mean to say, not wake up per se. But if you don't start taking action, you're going to get left behind. And I don't want that to happen to you. And I definitely don't want it to happen to me. See, that's what I'm talking about. You know, as the podcast goes on, I start getting into it. You know, I'll start off a certain way. And you know, I got my issues, man. I got my issues. I'm going to tell you, I got my issues. Oh, God. Sometimes I have to take like painkillers and stuff, you know, because of the pain that I deal with. You know, I do deal with aches and pains and stuff like that, dear. And I understand it. Believe me, I understand it. Remember, bad decisions, right? Sometimes you may eat something that doesn't agree with you, and the pain will come. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. There are things you can eat, and you eat too much of it, you start getting pain. It might hurt your stomach, upset your stomach. There are things you can drink. You know you can get a headache when you drinking. You see what I'm talking about? When you drink, you can wind up with a headache or a hangover or whatever the case might be, just from drinking certain things, certain liquids and things of that nature, that you know you should not be drinking that amount of liquid, let's say. Certain kinds of liquids, you know, alcohol, things like that. You should not be drinking that amount. Like, you might be able to have 1 or 2 and that's it, but you're having 5 and 10. And you got to go to work tomorrow. And now you wake up and you got a headache and you got to drag yourself in. You got a headache. You hung over. It happens. It happens. And sometimes people can influence you to do these things. And as a result, or you've had some traumatic experience and you have damaged emotional centers of the brain and you just make bad decisions. Sometimes it's not even people influencing you all the time. It can be, there's some influence there. It's questionable. There's some influence. And a lot of times people say, well, you didn't have to do it. You say, but my friend, I'm just, give you a hypothetical scenario. Yeah, my friend told me to come on out and, I was in the house and I wanted to get out. And as a result, I went to this brewery and I drank too much. And somebody will tell you, could be a co-worker or whoever, the doctor or whoever, whatever happened to you. You didn't have to do it. But you did it as a result of bad decision-making habits. You got bad decision-making habits. This is what's wrong with people. It's what's wrong with all of us. Or most of, you know what I mean when I say everybody. I don't mean everybody, but you know what I mean. This is what's wrong with people. They have bad decision-making habits, bad decision-making practices. They make bad decisions with the people they get with, how much money they're going to spend, how many clothes they're going to buy. Sometimes they play too many video games and they're spending all this money on the video games. Bad decisions. And they never got no money. They went out and bought a $500 pair of shoes when they should have gotten a $100 pair or $200 pair. No, they went and spent and went for the gusto. And that's good to do sometimes if you're able to bounce back from it. Because I'm going to tell you, I wanted to get me, let me see, what did I want? I wanted some Louis Vuitton. Yes, listen to me. Listen to me now. Listen to me. I wanted a Louis Vuitton sweatsuit. The real Louis. From the Louis Vuitton store out of the mall down here in Buckhead. Lenox Mall. I don't like to name names, but in this case, I'm going to name it. And the shoes. They had some loafer, like a sneaker kind of a loafer shoe that would go good, but maybe I'll probably get like a different pair. But anyway, I wanted the shoes too, because they had it. The sweatsuit itself was $5,000. It was like $2,500 for the pants, $2,500 for the jacket. I tried the thing on and it fit perfectly. I'm like, what? And I have issues with clothes fitting perfectly. But that fit perfectly. I just don't know how. I don't know why. I tried on the jacket. I didn't try on the pants because I knew I wasn't going to buy it. But I had the money. And then the shoes were additional $800. I saw some shoes. Like they had some sneakers and shoes and Louis Vuitton, LV. You know what I'm saying. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Listen to me. I was 2 minutes from buying a Louis Vuitton sweatsuit for $5,000 and the shoes for maybe another, I don't know, because they had some shoes in there that was started at like $200, $300, whatever. It didn't matter because I had the money. I had it. All I had to do was swipe the card. I mean, I could fully pay for it and not be in debt. I'm not talking about putting it on no credit card. I'm talking about swiping the debit. You know what I'm saying? Swiping that debit card. I had it. But my right mind kicked in. Because I was still had that Louis Vuitton sweatsuit until today. It was a brown one. But I think they might have had it in black. I probably should have gotten it in black. Because I like black. Get it in all black. The shoes I was looking at were $800 were black. But I don't think the shoes went with that particular sweatsuit. But I was going to get the loafers anyway for something else. My point is that my right mind kicked in. Then I was in Neiman Marcus, right? Because in another store, you go to Neiman's, right? And I was in the Gucci store. And they had this jacket for like $2,300. And it was paper thin. And I was like, I should get this. I wasn't considering it like I was the Louis Vuitton, but I knew I could get it if I wanted. I could still get it if I wanted. Right now, I could get it. And I'm not trying to flex on nobody, because a lot of people can get it. But then my right mind kicked in, and I was like, no. So I bought jackets. You remember I told you I went to Tanger Outlet, and I bought a bunch of jackets? Yeah, I bought some jackets some around that same time. I think I went to Tanger. But anyway, this was some years back. This wasn't recent. I'm not considering anything like that now. I mean, where am I going to wear it to? I'm not even rolling with that network of people who wearing Louis and Prada, and I don't roll with those kind of people who dress Louis, Prada, and things of this nature. I don't know people who wear that stuff. I might see somebody on TV every now and again, but like I would probably be the only one wearing it in my network, and I don't want to do that because I don't want to put a target on my back. Because sometimes those things can put a target on your back to be either ridiculed or somebody try to set you up. And so I'm always concerned about that. Like we don't want unwanted attention. And that's what I was saying about my group. I don't want certain people in this group either. So if you're one of those people that about that chaos, don't even come over here. I don't want you here. Pass the word. Because I'm just going to ban you. And I don't play. You say one thing, and I get the idea that you're just this person, you're out of here. I'm not going to deal with you. Because this channel is to help people. I want to see people make it. This is 2025. I want to see you make it. It's about to get hard out here. They done cut money already. And the man that's in that seat now, he ain't playing around. But the guy that got out the seat before wasn't playing around. People were struggling then. But I think this is going to be a different kind of struggle over these next 4 to 5 years. But whatever the case might be, these people are not playing with you. They are not playing. They are about business. And that's where your business networking comes in. Remember now, there are 5 points of networking: social, business, professional, experimental, and strategic. And I'm going to get into these things sometimes, because I go over them all the time, but sometimes I'm going to go in depth. But I don't want to bore anybody. I mean, this is story time with Jay. I want you to kind of, have some fun with this and everything. I'm doing the best I can to keep this light, but I'm a heavy person. I get heavy because I'm emotionally charged. I'm charged. Always have been. And my mother was like, no, just calm down. And I was like, no, I was out there as a kid, emotionally charged. And I realized that I can use this. And some people don't understand it and they don't like it. That's too bad. I may not like you either. Everybody has a right to express themselves. Like there's some people who are very quiet. Okay, they're not my kind of people. I don't dislike them. I just know that they're not the kind of people that I'm going to necessarily want to deal with in certain instances. There are sometimes you may want that. Somebody that's quiet. And you got to start building rapport. Rapport are very important for communication to take place. You got to start building these rapport with people. I know there's a lot of people out there. Look, I don't want to be bothered with nobody. I'm sick of people. Oh, yes, I know people like that who don't like people. And they tell me almost every time, or, not every time, but, they bring it up from time to time. They're like, look, you know me. You know I don't like people. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Because they've had some bad experience. They had some traumatic experiences. And they say they're not going through it. It can't be done. They're not going to let it happen. They are sick of people. You hear me? I know people like that. They don't be bothered with you. They do not want to be bothered with you. This channel is not for people like that. This channel is for the people because maybe they're making it. You got people got their own communication style. You cannot force this on people. But this channel is for the people who want to make it, who want to take action, who want to build up social, business, professional, experimental, and strategic networks. And you better get on that strategic network. That's what I'm trying to form as well. A strategic network. Now, I have some friends and we discuss strategy from time to time, like how we want to do things, how we want to try to make some money. We discuss it all the time. And I got two teams, right? One for wellness and fitness and one for healthcare, right? And we discuss the things that we want to do on a strategic level, yes, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about getting deep into strategy where you are discussing these things with people on a daily basis. I mean, I could use more networks. I could use more network because my strategy is about getting money. Okay, my strategy is not out here about trying to do something to somebody. I'm just trying to get money so that I can live the lifestyle that I want to live. That's what this is about for me. Like, oh, that's what this is about. Yes, that's what this is about. Listen to me. That's what this is about, okay? This is about getting money. All right? Some of it I want to give away. I don't want to keep it all. I mean, what fun is that? You got money and you trying to hoard every penny. Now, there are people who are like that. If that's you, okay, that's good for you. That ain't me. I'm going to spend half and we're going to invest half. Because I have my business, people too that, I'm dealing with. You know what I mean? I got my business people that I deal with my investments and things of that nature. And this ain't no flex. I'm a regular person. I'm trying to get rich. And when I get there, I might not talk about getting rich so much. I'll just talk about investment and, it may be more calm. Because I'm already rich. I can take the edge off now. I'm not as rich as I would like to be. Okay? I'm trying to get rich. Wealthy, whatever. Because, there's people, it's not about being rich. It's about being wealthy because when you build wealth, the strategy behind it, blah, 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 blah. Who cares? You know what I'm talking about. I don't want to hear all that. You know what I'm saying. Yes, I want to be rich and wealthy. Wealthy and rich. Whatever. I want to have more than enough. I want an abundance of money and assets. And I want to do it the right way so that I can sleep at night. It's important to do things the right way. And when I say the right way, I mean a way in which you're not doing anything wrong. You want to do things the right way. Trust me on that now. Because that's a setup. Every closed eye ain't sleeping. Every goodbye ain't gone. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You start doing things the wrong way, you're going to alert people to your presence. And they're going to come and get you, and you're going to be dealt with. You're going to be handled. You're going to get handled. You're going to get took. Whoever's doing things the wrong way, I don't know how they're getting away with it. And a lot of people are not getting away with it. But there may be those who are. I don't understand how they get away with it. I don't know nothing about that. I don't want to know nothing about that. I'm trying to do things the right way so I can keep people up off my back. I don't want no target on my back. Now, if you want to do things the right way, this is the place for you. If you're doing things the wrong way, don't even bother come over here. I don't want to be associated with that. There are other people out there for you to get involved with. And we'll see how long that lasts. Because they're always watching. God is watching you. That's what I mean. Every closed eye ain't sleep. Every goodbye ain't gone. Just because you don't think nobody's watching, you always being watched. That's why it's important to do things the right way. To the best of your ability. Because when you go out deliberately trying to do things wrong, it's got to come back somehow. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So I ain't gonna worry about all that. I know which way I'm trying to go. This way. If I'm ever approached, I can say no. Like I was in the supermarket one time and I was walking out. I think it was Walmart because, they check receipts over there because I have my Walmart days when I get good deals. I get money, they send me money, right? Yes. They send it. Yes, companies that I work, in conjunction with as a consultant. They send money to me for the work that I do. They send it to me in my email. They send me an email and then I click it on, this and that and the other. If you don't know nothing about that, maybe you should get into that. There are people who know about that. My point is, that's a Walmart day for me because it could be an Amazon day. It could be anything. I can go to the mall with the money. I go to Lenox Mall out here and buy them shoes I was talking about. Well, it won't be the $800 shoes, but I could put something on it. I could put something on it. You know what I'm talking about? I could put something on it. And I don't do layaway. When I'm ready to buy an iPhone, I buy the thing straight out. Here's $1,000. I buy the phone straight out. So I'll sit here and save the whole year for the next iPhone. Yes. You know what I'm talking about? I will save $100 a month. And in 10, 12 months, I got $1,200. I'm going to go ahead and drop $1,000 or whatever it is. I don't care what it is because I want the phone. I'm going to drop $1,000 on that iPhone because I like iPhone. I don't like Android. I'm thinking about getting me another phone, though, like a track phone. Just another number that I can have. What is your backup number? Okay, my backup number is 404-999-9999. Give a backup number. Just in case. Just in case something happens to the primary phone, I have a backup phone, but it doesn't have to be expensive. So I'm in the market for a track phone or some kind of, it could be Android. I'm not going to, at that point, I don't care. It doesn't matter. It could be a minute phone. You know those minute phones they used to, the Obama phones? It could be that. I don't care. Long as it works. It ain't got to have no internet or nothing on it. It could just be, but I'm going to go ahead and get something nice. I don't play that now. Remember, again, networking, technology. See, I need a phone that's technologically inclined. So, but if I happen to come across just like a regular flip phone, and it was given to me and it was on, okay, I'll take it. I'm not going, and that might be enough. That might be all I need. But then again, maybe not, because I'm doing a lot of things in technology now too, like artificial intelligence and also biotech and information technology as well. Day trading and things of that nature, and things dealing with numbers and math and all kinds of things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So I may need a phone that is more technologically advanced. And I'm in the market for it. I'm just not going to spend a lot. I'm trying to go down and get the track phone. I heard they in it. Then you get the little, you get the SIM card and then you buy the airtime. And the airtime might be $50 a month. But so I can cut the phone off some months, right? Let's say I forget to pay the bill, right? A couple of months. Or not a couple of months, 1 month. And I'm late, whatever. I just forget, right? I could just go and just put some more time on it. And it's just whenever it's whenever it cuts back on, it cuts back on. But my primary phone is on. I gotta have that now. I can't get by without that. I got to have a phone to do business. And I do a lot of business on my phone. I also got my laptop. And I was thinking about buying an Apple, but I went with another brand because I got the computer through networking. They was like, "What, you want a computer?" I was like, "Yeah." They was like, "Here, take it. Here's a bag to put in it. Here, take the the bag people wear on the back, the backpack. Oh yeah, here's a backpack to get. Yeah, take the computer, put it in the bag. Here's the cord. Here's everything. It's already been programmed and all that. Yeah, just go on and take it. I got it through networking, and that's what I'm saying. Social, business, professional, experimental, and strategic. I do a lot of strategic networking, strategy. And a lot of people, I show up to these networking functions, and these people really think I'm a fool. I know they do. I can tell. They think I'm a fool. Some of them, not all of them. Not everybody. When I say everybody, I don't mean everybody. But a lot of people think I'm a fool. They think something like I don't have, in other words, they think they can influence my behavior. so that they can get over on me. Little do they know, I'm in 5 different networking modes: social, business, professional, experimental, and strategic. Let's keep going over that. Social, business, professional, experimental, and strategic. And social is when you deal with your networks online or in person. It can be in person too, because whenever you socialize, that's always social. So there are people who would disagree with that. In my opinion, I don't think they know what they're talking about. Because some people like to be exacting and very technical. And sometimes they may be right, but the two things can be right at the same time. In person and online is social networking. Because it started out in person. Remember, we would network. There was no computers. Everybody did not have a desktop. Everybody did not have a laptop. There was a time when people did not have a personal computer. And they were still networking. And they were networking in groups, in meetings, in person, face to face. So I know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about social networking. I started out in face to face, and I was with some organizations who had clout, community-based organizations. They was getting money, grant monies. And we were talking about how the monies were cut just recently. Y'all better wake up and start to take a good look at what is going on around you. We are in for a ride over these next 4 years. We went through a ride over the last 4 years, and we're going to be in for a ride over the next 4 years. Some people came up last 4 years, and people can come up this 4 years, and you can be one of those people that come up. If you get your social, business, professional, experimental, and strategic networks together and stop the madness. Get it together, people. Because if you don't, you're going to feel the cold. Come to find out, more and more people are becoming homeless. I see them out there sleeping in the parking lot at the gym, in the gym, using the bathroom, sitting back there in the back, trying to kill time because they got no place to go except their car or wherever, or tent where they live. I don't know. And I'm not trying to make fun of people. I'm just saying that it's getting hard out here. It's getting hard out here for people. It's been hard. It's getting worse. And so if you want to do better, you better get your networks together. That's what this channel is about. This channel is here to help you. And I need some help. I just want to network and strategize with some people that's serious about getting money. And don't think you're going to come over here and try to rip me off. It ain't going to happen. I got people around me. Don't try it. Because if you try it, it's definitely going to go left. Don't even try me. Plus, I ain't got nothing for you to really take. There are people out here that's got way more than I got. But don't think you coming over here to try to take anything away from me. Like I said, I have people around me. Be careful with that. Just be careful. As a matter of fact, don't even come this way. Don't even come this way. You can send agencies ahead of yourself. And that was one of the things I wanted to get into when we was talking about communication. I'm going to drop this on you because I just want to let you know. Y'all need to start paying attention out here. You can come up. You can get a couple extra dollars for some new shoes. You can get a couple extra dollars for a new coat. You can get a couple extra dollars for a new pair of glasses, a new laptop, a new TV, a new car, a new place, a new apartment. Yes, you can get it. You can get it. But you're going to have to put in you're going to have to put in a considerable amount of work. And if you ain't willing to do those things, then you might as well get to stepping. And maybe you can get it without doing anything. When you figure that out, let me know. Hit me up. Send me a message. I want to know how to get things without doing nothing or little to nothing. I'm still trying to figure that one out. But listen to me. Listen to me. For all of these people who are like smart, everybody think they smart and everybody's so smart. All right. This is for the smart people. When we're talking about building like a rapport with people, a business relationship, a professional, experimental, strategic, social, let's just say business, right? When we're talking about building a business relationship with people, and communication is involved. Did you know that in some cases you can have nonverbal communication with people? You can think something, person know what you thought. They say, yeah, yeah. You know how you look at somebody and they can read the expression on your face. You ain't said a word. Not near word came out your mouth. You ain't uttered no words. And the person knew what you was thinking or talking about. You ain't said nothing, but they understood what you were communicating just basically with the look and the expression. Your body language told a story. Nonverbal communication. Now we talk about sending agencies ahead of ourselves. Your thoughts become things. I'm just going to keep it right there. I don't know if I want to go any further with this because a lot of people act like they don't understand this. But this is very important in the networking economy. You understand what I'm saying? Your thoughts. Remember I said people have they've had traumatic experience. As a result, they have damage that has been done to the brain, which might affect their thought process. Your thoughts become things. And it is very important and essential in the networking economy. See where I'm going with that? It keeps coming right back to the same thing. A couple of extra dollars in your pocket, a couple of extra $1,000, tens of thousands in your pocket. That's what I mean when I say that. I ain't talking about no twos and fews. I'm talking about 10 bands and better. $10,000 and up, okay? That's what I'm really saying. But let's just, I'll just say a couple of dollars. Because some people's only on a couple of dollars, twos and fews mode. And that's fine. Twos and fews is better than none. Because I started out with twos and fews when I got to the metro Atlanta area because it was a new city for me. But I'm talking about sending agencies ahead of yourself. Using nonverbal communication. What you know about that? I don't believe in all of that. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. They told me not to do that. They told me not to do it. Okay, well, don't do it. Everybody else is doing it except you. No, they're not doing that. I know they're not doing it. Yeah, most people may not have an idea of what they're doing or doing that to some extent. But there are people that are using this to influence and control your behavior. See what I'm saying? See where I took that? Nonverbal communication. Like, you know how you think some things and you have your strategic network of people or your network of people and y'all all on the same page? Maybe you don't. But I got a few people that's like that. I'm looking to network with more people that have those skills. These are skills. It's okay for the computer to do it, but it's not okay for you. And you're the most advanced piece of technology on the planet. Your body is the most sophisticated piece of hardware on the planet. They still have not figured out everything the body can do. It's all about that. Trust me, and that gets into something very, very deep. That gets into when we start talking about God and things like that. We're not going to get into all that. Because I don't want people to get confused by what I'm saying and think that this is a religious channel. This is not a religious channel. This channel is about networking, technology, wellness, and fitness and travel. There are plenty of other religious channels, or there are plenty of religious channels out there. This ain't one of them. This is about networking, technology, wellness and fitness, and travel. But I do realize that people will make a mention of God. And that's what I was saying. We're talking about agencies and things of that nature. AI agents, right? That's an agency. Those are agents. You can have your own agencies. Did you know that? Non-verbal communication, verbal communication. You can develop and create your own agencies. You can send agencies ahead of yourself. I told you, Jay, I'm not, people think I'm a fool. And again, I'm not the fool they take me for. Every closed eye ain't sleeping, every goodbye ain't gone. And you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run. I'm not the fool people try to take me for or try to play me for. I watch it play out while they play themselves, and then I just walk away from it. You know what I'm talking about? People trying to influence your behavior to get you to waste your money, your energy, and your time. Don't let people play you like that out of pocket. Again, this is 2025. When are you going to stop letting people play you? When? It's time to start networking and building your networks. And where maybe I might not be in your network, and you may not be in mine. And that's why I'm putting this information out here. This channel is here to help people to develop their own networks and their own agencies. You can become your own agent, free agent. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever kind of agent you want to be. Federal agent. I don't know, But you can start sending agencies ahead of yourself to get the things you want. Talking nonverbal communication, your thought process. Thoughts become things. See, I'm not telling you. I study, I research. I'm working with some global companies. Because we've gone global. We've been global. It's been global. We've been global since when? Since when? We've been global a long, long time. I think it goes way back to like the 1930s, 40s. I think we've been global for like decades. I don't think this has just happened. I think we've been global for a long, long time. But whatever the case might be, we're global now. And so if you are looking to make some money, or I don't know, whatever, eat better, or lose some weight, get in shape, buy a new car, buy a Louis Vuitton suit or Prada polo or whatever, go down to Neiman Marcus and spin a bag. I don't know, whatever it is you're looking to do, you're going to need to start developing your networks and get your money right. Start using your communication effectively in order to communicate with people effectively who can thereby help you to get the bag. And stop wasting your time. Again, this is 2025, and it's not like that really means anything. I mean, it's 2025, so what? But we're in a new era. And so that's why I'm saying it that way. This is 2025. It doesn't matter, because you should have started 5 years ago. Maybe 10. Because I should have started this YouTube channel about, let's say, roughly 10 years ago. I should have started this channel 10 years ago. But I didn't, because I was networking in other capacities. Trial and error, right? See what I'm saying? Trial and error. Experimental networking. That can work for and against you. You get with the wrong people and put out the wrong experiment, that can go left on you. You know what I'm talking about? Just being with the wrong people, experimenting with things, and hanging out with the wrong people can go left. Trial and error. Experimental networking. Social, business, professional, experimental, and strategic. Social, business, professional, experimental, and strategic. And I think I'm going to need to go over those things every day, but of course, I need to kind of mix it up a little bit and start talking about things like nonverbal communication. You know how, like, let's say you with your girlfriend, or, if you, are a woman, you with your boyfriend or whoever, whatever, it don't matter, whatever you into, right? You're with your significant other, right? And you can look at this person and they know what you thinking sometimes. Y'all both know what each other's thinking at a certain moment. Let's say, for instance, you may go into the bedroom, right? You know what I'm talking about? You go into the bedroom and you both know what each other is thinking at that time. That's what I'm talking about. But you can use this outside of the bedroom. This can work in any room of the house. Nonverbal communications, being able to communicate on certain levels, thought to thought. See, they ain't teaching that. They ain't dropping that kind of knowledge. They got books on it. I got a whole library right here on my shelf, here in my office. I got a whole library. Me, a regular Joe like me. Yes, anybody can have it. And some of these books, I think I got this one book from the church. I got one book from a clinic. Like, I was at this clinic one time, because I network with like clinics and hospitals and things. Once in a while I go in to the clinics to network. I'm not going to name the institutions anymore. I was naming them before. I'm not going to name them anymore. But I work and network with a variety of institutions in the area. Some of them are clinics, medical, whatever, what have you. Libraries too. Libraries. I have a library card. Yes, I do. Because if my computer goes out and I need to get some work done, I can go to the library and get on the computer, and they help you and they print it out for you, and they whatever you need done, except faxing, because they don't do faxes, because I had to fax something, and I had to go somewhere else, because I don't have a fax machine. I don't have a fax, which I could get one, but I don't know. I'm living very minimal existence here. I'm not. It's minimal for me. Minimal is different for different people. You got billionaires living minimal existences. I know, because they talk about it all the time. Like, I follow some of these billionaires. Now, I don't want to be a billionaire, but I would like to understand how these people strategize. And these are some powerful people too. All right, let me get a sip of water. I'm going to need to fill up my water too, because I got the block of ice, and so I keep water on hand. I like cold water, even though, drinking water at room temperature is better for your digestion. But I want to live a little bit too, Remember we were talking about drinking, right? And how you make bad decisions. Well, drinking cold water, I think, it's not always a bad decision. Sometimes your body, you can be really, really hot, and you drink cold water, and it'll bring your temperature down, which is what you want to do to cool off, because you can be too hot sometimes. And that's not always a good feeling too hot. Sometimes you might want to cool off a little bit. You'll jump in the pool or something, just to cool off. But drinking cold water, sometimes it will constrict blood vessels, a vasoconstriction. Vasodilation, vasoconstriction. Do you know your medical terms? Vasodilation, vasoconstriction. Your blood vessels can be narrowed, right? Or dilated when you do certain things. I'm going to just leave it there, because I won't get into all that, and then I may be saying one thing and I may forget that it was this or that. And these are very complex concepts, but I know what I'm talking about. Vasodilation, vasoconstriction. Sometimes cold water can constrict, because cold makes things kind of freeze, and they can narrow as a result. Heat makes things expand. Hot and cold treatments. They taught that when I was taking those medical classes. Hot and cold treatments. They taught about herbs and everything. They was dry. I went to one of the best schools because the government paid for it. And they said, we're not going to pay for you to go to a school and it's not the best. We only pay for the best. And I was like, okay, all right. Because I thought this other school, the one that was advertised the most, and I'm not going to get into names and things, the one that was advertised the most, the one you see the commercial about all the time, I thought that was the best one. That one was not the best. They wasn't even close to this one. This one, the one they sent, I went through an agency. Remember, agencies ahead of yourself, right? But there are brick and mortar location agencies. I was talking about mental agencies. A lot of people don't understand that. But hopefully you should get it now. These concepts are really not that difficult. That's why I asked the questions, right? Let me ask it again. What is the main constituent of hemoglobin? This is to get you to think a little bit. What is blood? Like everybody knows what blood is, but what is blood? You asked me that question the wrong time, I'll probably get that answer wrong. What is blood? Oh, it's a liquid. That might be all I can be able to tell you. My brain might be on freeze mode. But blood is more than a liquid. We're talking about the blood matrix, right? Plasma, things of that nature. Blood is like the oil that keeps your body running. It's kind of like think of a motor oil, right? And you need the motor oil, you have an oil change. Your blood is that. That's what your blood is. Your blood is the oil for the human body. I'm going to just put it simply because I don't feel like getting these complex ideas. Sometimes thinking like this can really take something out of you. Sometimes I like the flow. That's why this is Things to Do in Metro Atlanta, Story Time with Jay. This is story time. I'm doing that on purpose. I don't want everything to be so technical. I want things to be fun. Because I'm a fun person. Y'all might not think I am, but trust me. Trust me, I've had too much fun in my life, and that was the problem. That's the problem. Bad decisions, right? Sometimes you have too much fun. And they say, hey, look, everything's not about fun. I think it is, though. And that could be a bad decision on my part. Maybe it should have been more about business. Maybe I'd be a lot further along if it was. See what I'm saying? But through my networking, I have had a lot of fun. And I've made some money. I have not made the money that I want to make. And so that's basically the point that I am making. But I am talking about communication, building rapport, nonverbal communication, sending agencies ahead of yourself, your thoughts becoming things to get things done. The way you think can attract your network of people. Thoughts become things. A lot of people are not in control of their thoughts. And this is how they influence you. When you are scatterbrained all over the place, they can tell you something and you'll start listening to it because you ain't got no original thoughts. Your thoughts are all over the place. And this is how your behavior gets controlled. This is how they can control your behavior, is when you don't have a presence of mind. There's books on this that talk about that. Having a presence of mind, being in control of your thoughts, meditation and things of that nature that help you control your thoughts. And there's people out here, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in meditation. It's wrong. I don't believe in it. I was always told you don't do that. Okay, that's you. You believe what you want to believe. Because a lot of people have limiting belief systems. And that's why they can't get nowhere. Again, under that control of other people who don't want you to go nowhere. Some of them could be your family members. Some of them can be your friends, so-called friends. Some of them can be your enemies. Under control. And people don't want you to go nowhere. And that's why you ain't going nowhere. You can't get nothing because you're allowing people to control you and control your behavior, control what you think. And you got to break out of that. This is a new era. That's why they want you to go to school so that you learn how to think. And when you don't know how to think, don't nobody want to be bothered with you. Except the bottom feeders of society. See what I'm saying? You got all kinds of enemies out here don't want to see you make it. Some of them is dumb as a box of rocks, but not all of them are dumb. Some of your enemies outsmart you. And they can outsmart you every day using all kinds of mechanism, tools, and things at their disposal. Oh, yes. We ain't going to get into that. Because this is about networking. This is not about enemies. I'm just saying that to say that everybody is not with you, and you need to start forming your networks. Social, business, professional, experimental, and strategic. Start with social. Because social leads to business. And a lot of times, social is business. It's business for a lot of people. Like when you go into the bar to socialize. I'm just using that. I'm not advocating drinking, because you can always buy bottled water. Nobody say you have to touch that stuff on the shelf. When you go into a bar because you're meeting a friend, a pool hall, right? You know, they serve drinks. You know, they serve beer, wine, spirits, liquor, and all this here. Red Bull and all that, right? Energy drinks, right? I had one of those not too long ago. Stuff kept me up all night. Yeah. I drank an energy drink and I couldn't go to sleep, and I didn't even drink it that late. I drank it in the evening. But you know, some people think there's some school of thoughts, and I'm going to put this out here, and this is wellness and fitness. There are some doctors or healthcare practitioners who think and believe that you should not eat after 12 noon. And then there are other practitioners that say you should not eat after 6 p.m. Now, that's up to you to do what you want to do. And the reason why they say that is because digestion, your body's able to better digest the food. When you eat at 12 noon, your body has from that time on to digest it and break it down. But when you eat late at night, your body cannot break down that food while you're sleeping, so the body has to work harder to break it down, and that can cause constipation and alter the digestive process. I don't know if you knew that. Maybe you did. Maybe you knew that. And you know, a lot of people are constipated. You know what I'm saying? They have to take different kinds of medications to help that, right? But your constipation could be coming from your diet. But I'm not going to get into all of that. I just wanted to kind of drop that on you. But you need to start building up your networks. Social, business, professional, experimental, strategic. So your social network is something that you should start with. And you can socialize online. You can get online and start socializing. Sometimes I talk to people all around the world. They always trying to ask for money, though. You ever notice that? When you network with people online, they always trying to ask for money, always trying to sell you something. Have you noticed that? Check your emails. Look at your email and see how many ads or whatever you might call advertisements or emails that you have where people are asking you to either buy something or donate money, give money. Check your advertisement. See, they're sending agencies ahead of themselves to get your money. See what I'm saying? It keeps coming back to this. If you notice, it kind of comes back around to this. The more we talk and the more we discuss things, there are themes that seem to keep popping up. And one of them is money. One of them is communication. Another one of them is networking. Right? Networking, technology, wellness and fitness, and travel, right? And I'm going to start getting into travel. There's a lot to be said about travel. Have you ever heard of the Airbus? Like, they have different numbers, like and this number may not be the number, but like the Airbus 313. And it's like a big airplane that you get on, and it holds a lot of people, and you can go long distances in this Airbus. I have a video. You can check my group, Things to Do in Metro Atlanta, on Facebook. And I have a video of an Airbus. It was from the United Arab Emirati. Is that how you pronounce that? Some people say Emirates, United Arab Emirates. Well, someone told me it was Emirati. I'm going to look that up. United Arab Emirati. Anyway, it was the UAE, right? UAE. And they had an Airbus. And that thing was coming across that sky, but it was about to land. And it was coming down in there. And the landing gear was already, they had already put the landing gear down, the wheels. And it was coming down, and they were preparing for land, and they were about to land. And that bus was coming through the sky, and you could see it was in the wind, and they was navigating their way, and they was about to hit that runway. Oh, man, that is like poetry in motion. And so that's my travel piece for today. The Airbus, United Arab Emiratis. And so, we're going to get into travel. We're going to get into all of these things because, as you know my group. Now, I've recapitulated, inculcated this several times. My group is about networking, technology, wellness and fitness, and travel. But again, the point is that you need to start building up your networks. Social, business, professional, experimental, and strategic. Start with social. Start building your social networks. Again, this is 2025, and we're in for a bumpy ride. And as a matter of fact, I feel like I'm going to do well over the next 4. Because I'm going to pull out all the stops. And I'm about to do everything I can. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to come up some more over the next 4 years. And it has nothing to do with who's in office. It's just something that I decided I was going to do. And I was doing something under the last administration. And the administration before that. And the administration before that. But this is kind of like we're in a whole new, like since 2020, I don't know if y'all noticed this. But since 2020, right, the year of 2020, a lot of things have changed. It seems like we're in a whole new, like, era. And we might have been in it before then, but 2020 was a turning point, at least for me. And I think it was for a lot of people. 2020 to 2030, this next decade, it's going to be a lot of changes made, and we're always 5 years into this decade because it's 2025. We're already 5 years into this decade, and so there's going to be a lot of changes being made. And I want to see people make it. So start developing your networks. And for people that, just want to kind of be by themselves, just leave them alone. They're going to find out, though, because they have networks, too. They just don't participate as much. They got to go somewhere to get something to eat. Those people are in their network. Everybody you come into contact with is in your network. It doesn't mean that you're really networking to the highest level. But you are networking to some degree because you're dealing with these people. And a lot of it is business. You're spending money, you're buying things, you're working and you're making money. That's business. Somebody's getting paid off of that. And you're paying people from that. So it's still a network. I know there's people who would disagree with that. And again, I told you a lot of people don't know what they're talking about. They have all these opinions. Ain't none of them right. You got people that's got all these opinions, right? and most of what they talking about is just trash. Like it don't never amount to nothing. They're barely getting by. They might have money. There's people that got money out here and still can't keep a dollar. Got decent jobs, paying nice salaries, and they can't never keep a dollar because of the way they think. Everything come out their mouth is just something that is just below par. You know what I'm saying? And there's people disagree with that. I don't agree with that. I think what someone say is important, and because they're speaking and you may not enjoy what they say, doesn't mean it has any less importance. Well, I disagree. Because I'm trying to get paid out here. And I don't have time for nonsense. I'm focused. And I'm tired of being in the position of, like where I'm at is okay, but I want to be in a better position. Okay, my life's not really bad, but I want it to get better. Like, share, and subscribe. This is Things to Do in Metro Atlanta Story Time with Jay. And on that note, until next time, take care.